Yo, yo, yo. We are live in effect for part two of this Pig Daddy in Big Trouble or Not. And also, we're going to have an update on the local gang bust here in Polk County. Grady Judd seems like he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time when it comes to crime fighting. Wow. Here we go. All right. I am your gracious host, Dr. Juice, in the building. Thanks again for joining us here at Urban Matters Live Chat. Urban Matters Black Media Group, Dr. Juice TV, and I'm Dr. Juice coming at you real quick. Yeah, let me do some housekeeping real quick. Let me send out a few of the invites to let everybody know that we are live here in Urban Matters Black Media Group. Dr. Juice TV, Urban Matters Studios. And I just want to make sure we got all of our algorithms going because, man, sometimes this internet gets janky when I go live. They don't want you to get this hot fire, but we're going to give it to you. We're going to give it to you. So y'all let me know what's good, man. What's good? Send out a few more invites. Get some of the family into the building and see if they want to join us here. Make sure we get everybody so we can hear everybody's voice here at Urban Matters. See, this black media, man, we do things differently here than the white media or the fake media. We try to give it to you blood raw, man. I'm not biased. I'm just going to give you the facts like this.
Very, very simple thing that if you have a certain worldview, and conservatives have one worldview and progressives have a very different one, if you have a certain worldview that doesn't allow you to see the facts, you won't see them. And the reason is very simple. In general, when you perceive something, something comes into your eyes, you have about a tenth of a second before it becomes conscious, and it will change in that tenth of a second to fit what you already know or believe. It will change fast. And it changes either, this is flashes of light will change, things you touch will change, all of those things will change, and ideas will change. So when you have facts that come in that won't fit the way that you understand the world, then you won't, the way you understand the world is going to change, is not going to change. The facts will either be ignored, ridiculed, or attacked because they will threaten the way you understand the world or not threaten them. People be happy with the way you understand the world and ignore the facts. But the frames that frame the facts are part of your brain. They're physical. All ideas are physical. They're in your brain. When they come in, that part of your brain is not going to change.
Not going to change.
And so you have lots of people in this country who have conservative worldviews, and they just don't see it. It's not like they're denying it. It's not like I know that fact and I'm going to deny it. It's like it's not even a fact.
There you go. It's like it's not even a fact to you. That's called cognitive dissonance. That's when somebody presents facts to you, and because you don't want to accept it, you try to spin it. You try to put a spin on it so you don't have to intelligently or intellectually start thinking for yourself. And now the fact to you is not even a fact. It's like It's a physical part of your brain that you're just saying, hey, I don't want to hear I don't want to hear that shit, Juice. I don't want to hear what you talking about. Yeah, you may be telling the truth, but I'm not gonna let you know you telling the truth because hey, I view the world this way and you view the world that way. No, it's not that Juice view the world. I just present the facts and let the facts lay where they might lie. So I don't try to concern myself with people who want to have a debate or want to have an argument because I debate with only people that are my equal. If you're not equal with me and presenting facts and research, then at that point, you're just what we consider to be a pupil. So I'm teaching you at that point. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm teaching you at that point. So that's how that go. Okay. We got Professor in the building. Thanks for joining us today, Professor. The Professor. We got a real true. We got a real true. Turn your monitor down a little bit, Professor. We have a real authentic professor in the building, and I love when we have educators that are men because that's something very culture and that's something that's very, very rare. And we appreciate the professor for joining us here at Urban Matters Black Media Group. And we're going to salute to him. This is where you get the official certified black media. This real black media. We certified over here. So all you ghost watchers, just make sure you like and share. You don't have to comment on everything, but just make sure you send this to because you may have some people in your family that appreciate authentic, thorough, certified media. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Professor, we still got a little bit of feedback. Turn your monitor down just a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. I wish you had some headphones on. We can cancel all of that. All right. Let me see what that sounds like now. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Great, 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 great. Yeah, and maybe your mic might be too up, too much, too high, too. You might pulling too far, too hard. Say something real quick. Let me see how you sound.
Greetings, everyone. How's everybody doing today on this beautiful Thursday?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How are you doing today, Dr. Juice?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I just been handling a business today, man. I had, an off day today. You know how bosses do. We can take a day off when we get ready, but I had to do some yard work. I had cut some limbs down because in the fall down here in Florida, you have those acorns, man. Them damn pesty ass acorns, and they start shedding and falling, and they get in your driveway and they smear up your driveway because you come in with your cars when you're parking in your driveway and they smush them and they get all yellow and all this yellow crap over your driveway. Now you got to pull out the pressure washer. So I say, you know what? Let me get ahead of the game. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these limbs from over my driveway. And so there you go. That's what my day been.
Well, I have to disagree with you about your day, Dr. Juice, because my system alerted me early this morning. And boy, you was giving your folks smoke. So you were doing a little bit more than cleaning leaves. I mean, I saw you, man, this morning I got an alert and I looked at that and I said, look at Dr. Juice. He
Oh yeah,
is
that's
giving them real smoke.
yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, I was getting that smoke this morning, man. Some morning the ancestors they kind of say, Juice, get your ass out of bed, man. We got work to do. Your people around here falling asleep, and some of them already dead, walking dead, I call them. And we just got a lot of work to do, man. We have a lot of work to do, and so that's what we're trying to do.
You was giving them smoke, man.
Yeah, giving them smoke because you got to think about it. This is the type of stuff right here that we got going on in our country, Professor. And I think you had put me on this article today. So I've been doing the other day you put me on this article. So I've been doing some research.
You're my best student. You're my best student, Dr. Juice. You're my number one student.
Yeah, man, I say, what the hell? But they got these damn walkie-talkies. And now they say they don't know where these walkie-talkies. They were published and sold in different countries now, and for some odd reason, they wind up in the hands of what is it over there in Palestine? Them guys. I'm gonna let them talk about it.
Hamas.
Hamas, yeah, the
Hamas.
Hamas. And let me tell y'all something about them people. They make them.
And I'm Bianca Goldriger. You are watching.
They make them sound like they're terrorists, but those folks are actually not terrorists. These people are legitimate governments. Like, we got Orlando government. That's what these folks are, but they have different names and different language and different cultures. So when our media presents it, they try to make these guys seem like they the bad guys, but they're really just some people trying to survive, man. And they're being targeted just like you and I. So Israel is targeting them, and they're literally taking these lands from these people. So that's one thing I never understood about the war that takes place over in the Mideast. They're doing the exact same thing that Hitler did to them. I just don't understand it. Why would you go do the same thing that has been done to your culture, man? Let me play this, man.
World. And we begin this hour with breaking news out of Lebanon yet again. For the second straight day, communication devices are exploding, and this time it appears to be walkie-talkies.
At least 9 people are dead, hundreds have been wounded, and that's according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. That blast that you just heard in Beirut set off panic in the streets, as you can see here. That was amid a crowd attending a funeral for Hezbollah fighters.
This in Beirut, Lebanon. They say, you know what, we're just going to blow the damn funeral up. But I heard some kids and everything are being killed by these walkie-talkies. Because, of course, think of it. Kids love little radio technology like that. Ain't no telling how many hands of kids that these walkie-talkies are in.
Early reports indicate the explosions took place in suburbs of Beirut.
And it comes hundreds of pagers belonging to Hezbollah simultaneously across Lebanon. The country's health minister says at least 12 people, including children, were killed on Tuesday, and nearly 3,000 others injured.
And coordinate both of these attacks, which took place, by the way, roughly around the same time on both.
Back here, we don't know if Israel will. Second wave of attacks is highly likely that they were owing, as you say, to the fact that it appears this second wave occurred to attacks which CNN has learned the Israeli Mossad and military were behind. It's highly likely too, given the nature of the low-tech devices used here, that indeed the Israelis may have been behind it. But we don't even have at this stage, I believe, Hezbollah accusing them directly. There is chaos and some degree, I'm sure, panic here. Lebanese security source telling my colleague Tamara Kiblawi that we're talking about 30 to 40 explosions they've reported so far. The death toll having risen today to 9 and 300 injured. And that's significant because it's getting close to yesterday's. And given how few comparative blasts we're seeing today, that would suggest that the impact of these was significantly more. Now, one of these series of images you're seeing there is of a funeral for somebody killed in the pager explosions. And that, I think, is telling because it speaks to what this Lebanese security source was saying too, that these walkie-talkies, who seem to have been the predominant source of these 30 to 40 explosions, are used for crowd control security by Hezbollah themselves. And that specific event there, many yellow flags, many Hezbollah members there. And so these devices too, from the social media videos we've been seeing, more potent in their explosive power. The pagers, according to the New York Times, had small amounts of explosive inserted into them in their thousands for yesterday's wide-scale explosions. These, so far, we think, less blasts, but possibly more potent ones. And so we're dealing here with an extraordinary moment where it may be that the low-tech devices, the pagers that Hezbollah resorted to keep their communications away from the smartphones that Israel could track, has suddenly found themselves 24 hours later reaching to yet a more low-tech device to continue talking amongst themselves, and that those too have been targeted. The net result is going to be I think extraordinary unease in Hezbollah's ranks. People unsure how they can communicate safely, if the person they're trying to communicate with is indeed unharmed. And I think that will impact Hezbollah's response in two ways. It will reduce their capability and their sense of certainty if they want to do something on a wide of acute weakness, perhaps for internal reasons to restore morale, to remind people. The remaining question: who coordinates something larger? We'll see that in the days ahead.
There you go. This is what you call, Professor, and you probably can chime in on this a little bit for us. This is what you call technology, using technology tools in warfare. Would you agree?
Well, not only do I agree, I always try to line things up to the question: what does this have to do with foundational Black Americans? A lot of times you have to be conscious of the fact that when you present these kind of things, you always have to tie that back to, what does that have to do with me? And I want to tie it back, allow me a few minutes to tie it back to what we were discussing earlier about the gang issues, if you want to call them gangs, in Polk County, and how Sheriff Grady Judd, who, in my opinion, has some of the best digital and cyber investigation that I've ever seen. And to see all of those boys rounded up, and of course, that's another issue. We don't know whether they're our boys. What I mean by our boys, Sheriff Judd said that these are pop-up crimes, and then he also said that a lot of these boys are in Lakeland who grew up with each other. But at any rate, when you look at what you just presented, you would have to know that there's technology out there far beyond what people who read on third grade level understand. If that's not a wake-up call to what the capabilities are and what could be done to you in the name of public safety.
Breaking up on us a little bit, Professor.
I don't know what to wake you up. And let me just point out one other thing. I want to piggyback. I heard what you were saying earlier about.
I don't know if that's on my
end. I just appreciate hearing that so much. And the reason why I do is because, again, the church is the only institution that we have. And I know people saying, well, oh, here he go again, talking about the church. And you're right, I am, because it's the only institution that we have. And I want to point out the behavioral science aspect of it. Now, I heard you rant for about 3 minutes about, how you establish facts, how you look for empirical data to help you make your decisions. You've come a very long way with that. But here's the problem that you have, Dr. Juice. When you look at how religion is structured, your only requirement is to believe. There's no requirement to establish any facts when you're in a religious service. You're only required to believe. So you're speaking to people, in my opinion, the majority of them, who have been conditioned to believe on what I would call blind faith. They're conditioned to believe on blind faith. And there's a big difference between knowledge.
Real bad, Professor. Really breaking up.
You know why? See, think about this. It's 8 o'clock. And this is peak time for the internet all around the world. There's latency all over the world on the internet. What part you didn't get? I'll even go and come. I'll go and come back. Give me a minute. I'll go and come back. Hold on.
Try turning off some of your Wi-Fi too, like your try turning off your cell phone if you have your cell phone on Wi-Fi, Professor. Try turning that off a little bit. And, let's see if we got a better signal now with the professor. We're getting a little bit of latency and lagging. And say something, Professor.
This is peak time when people get off. You got millions and millions of people on the internet at this time of the day.
Absolutely.
But this should be a little better. But what was the last part you heard me say?
You were talking about technology, and my problem. Some of our problem is that we don't use the proper technology tools and research. I can't. It was breaking up to establish fact checking. Right? Yes, sir.
Right. We're under the religion. Church people, the only requirement that you have is to believe. There's no fact checking in church. There's no empirical data. So you're talking to an audience who's been conditioned on blind faith. Whatever the pastor say, I'm going to believe it.
Yes, sir.
Now, why is that a problem, Dr. Juice? It's a problem because you're acting on blind faith. And there's all sort of consequences that's negative that will occur if you're only operating off of blind faith. Blind faith. That's why.
Professor, on how technology. Can you hear me? Give us
it's definitely lazy, but
I think it's gonna get better. Let's see what we got here.
It's
gonna get better. Yeah. Let us know if we lagging a whole bunch. If y'all can come into the chat section, make sure you also like and share this video. Make sure you your loved ones. I think it. Yes.
Oh wow, you got a Karen. Now we got a Karen on the platform, Dr. Juice. Do you see Karen?
We got a Karen.
Got a Karen. Look on you. Yeah, you got a Karen out of Pennsylvania. Hello, Karen. We got a Karen from Pennsylvania, Dr. Juice. I need to look at her, research her city here for a minute.
I love Karen.
Let's check. I don't see where she's from.
Love Karen.
Huh?
Where's she at?
She's on your page. But we welcome everybody. You just got to know that we black first on this platform. Okay, Karen. I can't even pronounce. Let's try to pronounce. I can't even pronounce where she's from. Hold on, I'm gonna get it pronounced. How to pronounce it? Let's see.
But you, Bethlehem.
Okay, sounds like we have one of those feminists.
You
Are you still there, Professor?
Yes, sir. I'm trying. I don't know how to pronounce where she's from. I'm trying to get the technology to help me pronounce where she's from.
Oh yeah, she's probably one of those feminist Me Too trolls.
Well,
That like the pop.
Hold on.
Ephrata.
She's from a place called Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
She's from.
okay.
I've never heard of Ephrata, but let's see how many black people in Ephrata. See, that's the beautiful thing, Dr. Juice. There's no excuse to be uneducated with technology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can learn how to pronounce things. You can research. I've never heard of this town. So
absolutely,
there's about 13,000 people, Dr. Juice. They're kind of like Lake Wells.
Correct.
We got 13,000 people. Let's see what else we got.
Let me play this one.
Go ahead.
While you work on that, we're gonna play this.
Grady Judd says there has been a big drop in gang-related shootings in the last year and a half, but it didn't happen on its own. It has taken a lot of hard work from a multi-agency task force, which started. As Fox 13's Carla Byron shows us, the task force is putting these young criminals behind bars and getting guns off the streets.
All these guns, once in the hands of violent gangs, are now off the streets. So says Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd.
You have this kind of gun pointed in your face by a teenager, and you go, how did they even get this gun?
14 for inter-gang drive-by shootings, primarily in East County. The multi-agency force was created back in February 2023.
It was a significant from 6 in 2019.
And notice they said East Polk County. That means that's in our area. That's in the Lake Wells, Winter Haven area. Man.
To 59 in 2020.
Man, I have grandkids and I have daughters. And I swear, if I can catch one of them jokers, I'm gonna see how good their aim is. I'm gonna see how quick they can draw from the waist. Yeah, that's what I do. I come from the waist with mine, baby.
In the 18 months before its creation, Polk County had 87 gang-related and suspected gang-related shootings. Since the task force creation, the number went down to 61 in 18 months, a 30% decrease. They've arrested 144 gang members and associates and recovered 57 firearms, 6 of which were stolen.
Let it be known that these gang members did target other gang members, but unfortunately, 3 innocent people were shot during this violence.
Sheriff says the gang members market themselves on social media. He has been working with gang resistance intervention programs at schools. Local ministers and pastors are also working with the sheriff to intervene at churches as well.
And I've seen a lot of kids around, from young kids up until 30, 40 years old in prison, in whatever prison they're in right now today, that are saying that when they do get out, after 15, 20 years of being locked up by this man, they're going to come home and join the church and do something different from what they did from gangbanging.
And I think that we must band together as a church. And this is why the Polk County Alliance have met with the sheriff on more than one occasion. And we believe together we stand, divided we'll fall.
The sheriff says the task force isn't over and more
I want y'all to pay attention to a lot of these names. A lot of these guys are black immigrants and Latino immigrants. So don't fall for the we are all one big Negro syndrome, because a lot of times they want to try to relate these guys to the black community. And a lot of these guys are Johnny come latelys, and they just got over here and they've turned to crime because lack of education. And that's what the professor and I are trying to do at this platform. We're trying to let our people know. That's why sometimes we have good numbers on viewers, on our viewerships or likes. And then a lot of times we have very low numbers because it just depends on what the type of subject matter that we are discussing. Because we wonder why our community is in this type of shape, because everybody is worried about who is the GOAT. Everybody worried about the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody worried about goofy stuff that's not going to benefit like community whatsoever. And so we have to take accountability for our own community. I mean, enough is enough, man. I mean, come on. We got to take accountability for our own community, man. And I don't know how else to say it. I really don't. I don't know what else to say to get us to focus. I don't know what else to say to have us start focusing on our education in our community. When I say education, I'm not saying you got to go to this big college and spend all these thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on these university degrees. You can practice economics and alternative educations right within your own community. Look at what we're doing right now with this technology. We're getting out information, and nobody can really stop us because we're not talking about anything reckless. We're not talking about anything that's going to cause any harm to anybody. We don't have abusive language we're using. We are using intellectual property and intellectual thinking and intellectual learning. And we're trying to use these technology tools to show you that you can reach your people and you can change things just by caring, just by being concerned about your community. And I think that's what a lot of people are not doing. They're not concerned about the community. And that's why the community is like it is. Preachers and pastors is not going to be the answer. The answer going to be us to take accountability in our own hands. Joe Biden ain't going to do it. Jim Crow Joe, Commandment, none of them are going to be able to help us out of this degradation that we are in. We have to do this. And we're talking alternative education to the fundamental education that has been. Did you hear about Hillcrest today in my city? Also, there was a shooting at McLaughlin. The kids heard a shooting, and I think the administrative, they downplayed it and said, "Oh, well, that's not shooting you heard," and all the kids said they heard it. So, yeah, in Hillcrest, they had to fire an administrator because the administrator said that he want to kill these kids. He literally said that out of his mouth, and they fired him on the spot at Hillcrest Elementary right here in Lake Wells. So y'all check on your people, man. Check on your folks. Who in the world would want to kill fourth graders? So, and then they fired him. So there is no telling what's on his mind now, because he's probably pissed because they fired him, and ain't no telling what he may do now. So y'all just check on your people, man. Please check on your people. Hillcrest Elementary. And we also had an incident at McLaughlin Middle School today with some type of shooting, or somebody was shooting near there or something, and they had to go on lockdown and whatnot. So hey, check on your people, man. Please check on your people, man. Professor, let us have it.
So I have a series of questions that I want to ask you, Dr. Juice. So the first question that I want to ask you, so I heard the presentation, and I saw two black preachers there. that was the only partnership out of the community that was there with Sheriff Judd. Okay. Number one, would you please explain to me what solution did you understand that those preachers offered as a solution to address? I'm asking you, what solution did you hear, Dr. Juice?
None whatsoever. All I heard them say was these guys are gonna be getting out of jail, and they say when they get out of jail, they're gonna come join the church. My question is, if you can't help the people that's out of jail right now, how you gonna help the people that's getting out of jail? You ain't doing nothing for the people that's not in jail, as far as the church and the.
So let me keep going. So a black man with a felony after spending 20 years in jail, help me understand what he can do but go to church. What can he do? See, let me say this, Dr. Houston.
What can he do?
I'm not, again, always got to do this disclaimer. I'm not trying to bash nobody. I'm just pointing out facts. These people, these preachers, and I've said this over and over and over, they don't have real world business skills. They don't know how to offer economic options to these young men.
Absolutely.
That just makes sense.
Make plenty of sense.
How long do you think that young man is going to stay in church? And he got the child support people breathing down his back. And that judge told him he better have 3 stacks in 30 days. He's sitting there in the church that ain't making no money. Help me understand that. Now,
not only that, how is he going to survive once he get out? What he going to, he going to pray, and then once he pray, that's going to put money in his pocket?
No, he said he was going to baptize him. He's going to baptize him and bring him to Christ. So I'm trying to understand the economical connection to that. So the question becomes, how do we better educate the community? And how do we, there's obviously a generation gap. Because the 2 men that I saw was past 50. And I know the educational background for black men past 50. In fact, the preacher that had the green on, he said himself that when he got out of jail, he had to work in a landfill. And it took him a minute to get that job. I'm not bashing no hard work. I'm talking about education. See, here's the problem. We don't talk about education. So when they hear that, that's where you get the old pushback from. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about? You keep coming up. The reason why they say that you keep coming up with conspiracy theories is because they don't read themselves.
Right.
How the hell they know what you're talking about?
Right. Well, that's what I've learned, Professor. People always bring that conspiracy theory talking point up when they want to try to deflect, because as you said, they don't want to research anything and they don't want to deal with facts. So the easiest thing to do is call me a liar or say that the information that I'm presenting you is incorrect. So that's their argument. And so I'm presenting data. One thing about our folks, we don't understand data collection, the collection of data. We are so used to folk tales and prayer and just, best wishes that when it's time to really do some real research and do some real fact checking, we don't know how to do it.
Well,
and we're too scared, and
in their defense, Dr. Juice, in their defense, religion makes your mind lazy.
Wow, you pretty much summed it up right there, Professor.
You don't, because think about it. You can hate on that statement all you want to, but there's no requirement for you to critically think.
Oh, yeah.
There's no requirement for you to examine, for you to investigate, for you to theorize.
And speaking of preachers, and speaking of not thinking for ourselves and not going to get research, I want you to listen to this pastor right here about the whole pet eating thing that Trump brought up. I'm trying to get these facts out here, Professor, because I want to get these facts out here, because I know a lot of times we don't understand how to find this information and how to find this data. So I want to present the family with this right here.
And Trump talked about eating cats and dogs. Trump talked about eating cats. I thought he had gotten senile. But there are things that people don't know and understand that he was strategically trying to put out. The illegal immigration policies that are going on in this nation is getting ready to reshape America like never before. And y'all don't see it because you got a corrupt media that won't tell you the truth. They are bringing millions of people.
And right there, you heard what he said, a corrupt media. He talks about, listen, the media that our folks do listen to, it's corrupt. This the conspiracy stuff, but they believe it over real fact checking. I just had to say that.
People into this country, and they are shipping them around to different cities all over the United States, and the media won't tell you nothing. It sounded crazy, but it's true. Yes, it's true. Because people don't understand voodoo culture. Haitians come out of Haiti, which is a strong voodoo culture. And the reason it's going to be a problem, see, they got you thinking race. He just hate them black folk. No, it's about culture. Even the Venezuelan gangs are bringing their culture to our nation, and they are taking over cities right now, and the police can't do nothing with them. So every time anything come up about anything black folk, we always accuse it to be about race. No, it's culture. Voodoo culture requires sacrifice. In other words, bring me an animal, and that represents you, and I want you to lay it on the altar and give it to me as a sacrifice. But in voodoo, you eat the animals that you bring to the sacrifice. This is what the media ain't gonna tell you. I got a Haitian pastor, because we helped to build a church over in Haiti, and he has enlightened me on different cultures. Yes, they get those animals because they need them for sacrifice. They kill the animals, and then they are taught that if you eat the animal, you will get more power inside of you. And so they eat the animals, and demons are the ones that come on the inside. I'm preaching up in here today. I'm preaching up here.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna let it go.
They don't tell you that in the media because they're trying to hide it. They don't want you to see it because they don't want the people to become alert to what's happening, where they're spreading these people all over the country. Springfield, Ohio ain't got but 67,000 people, but they brought in 15,000 migrants from Haiti that will change the culture in that city. They are getting people's pets and killing them for their own sacrifice, because that was the culture in Haiti. It is true. And he was smart enough to put it out because he knew it would make people start going to talk about it and start looking.
Wow. You heard the man of God. Boy, y'all got some mess going on in America, boy. I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know what to say. Listen, y'all heard the man of God now. Hey, black Democrat Christians. Hey, the man of God just told you. You voting for the party that support voodoo. Well, listen. That's why I tell people I do not politically identify with no one. I am all about George Washington. That's who I'm voting for in this political election. George Washington. I'm green. Y'all blue and red. I'm green. Okay? So yeah. Oh man, that was a good one. That wasn't it, Professor? That was a good one. That was a
Well,
good one.
Old Reverend Hemhawk, he made some interesting points. Voodoo was demonized. When you look at how we approach spirituality as a people all over the globe, you got to understand the Europeans demonized that. They said that we were uncivilized. They said that we were heathens and all of that kind of stuff. And that's why when they saw us doing those things, that's why Christianity was beaten into people of African descent, indigenous people. That's why you had to conform to Christianity.
Yes, sir.
So I understand culture, but here's my question. When I look at where our culture is headed, when I look at my value systems, and when I look at the alteration, the physical alteration of men, in my opinion, that's worse than voodoo. Did you hear what at least the preacher said? Hey, these people are eating animals and they're making them strong. That's what they believe in. But your Democrat people, they're not trying to make the black man look strong.
Nope.
They're not trying to make the black man look strong.
Yep. They trying to effeminize.
Well, I can show you something now. I'm just you want to talk about culture. So let me tell you the culture we're dealing with. I don't mind. Let me share my screen. I'll show you culture. You don't want to talk to me about culture. This is culture. And again, we're talking about culture now. We're not beating people up. Hey, if that's your culture, that's your culture. But this is what they're telling. This is what the Democrats are telling black people that's in their culture. I'll show you. Well, let me. All right. Are you there?
Why that happen?
But I want to show you culture. You want to talk to me about culture? So here's the culture, or at least the culture that the Democrats are telling you that you're in. So this young man here is what these two people are now. This young man. And this is him now. That's that young man. So they're saying that's black culture. So he was talking about Haitian culture. So we talking about culture. He's talking about eating cats, animals. Okay. So they're saying that this is the black culture now. So all I'm saying to you, Dr. Juice, okay, I don't hate nobody. I respect all living human beings. Be what you want to be. But what I'm saying to you is that goes against professor value system. You know what I'm saying? We used to have values. We used to have standards. But black men are so weak. These pastors, I heard some pastors at Morehouse say, hey, if we don't tell the world that we got more than two genders, we might lose our job. So what are we in terms of value? In terms of values as Black men, what the hell are we standing on? Where do we draw the line, Dr. Juice? Where do we draw the line? Let me ask you, Dr. Juice. I'll ask you. I'll put it on you. I'll ask you a personal question. You have a son, okay? And if you're and I know this won't happen. I'm just using this example because I know you'll freak out when I ask you this question. But you have a son. And if your son woke up one day because he's been listening to these other people and they've convinced him that he might be an other gender, what kind of reflection does that have on your values? How would you feel about that, Dr. Juice?
Oh yeah. I would love him, no doubt, but I would not support anything he was doing, and I would not assist him in any kind of way, whether it be economically, whether it be socially. And I know a lot of these people that choose this lifestyle, they get targeted a lot of times, and our family wants us to defend that. And my biggest defense is, if you were not like that, you would not even be getting that type of targeting. So
let me throw another twist in there. I'm gonna cut you off. Let me throw another twist in there. So what if you was some kind of ball player? Because our wealth as Black men is around some kind of ball, and I'm not talking about the balls between legs. I'm talking about football, basketball, golf. Our wealth as Black men, if you look at data, and you love data, so if you look at the wealth that has been generated by Black men, it's been chasing after some kind of ball, like a dog. Okay? So now, the people you talking about, you saying, well, I would love him, but I wouldn't support that. But then what if they start shaming you? What if they started the public? And now they're demanding that your resource is taken away from you. The sponsors, you got sponsors. What about that, Dr. Juice? Would you cave into that?
Oh no. Definitely not. No, I would not. No, that's why I'm self-employed. That's why I'm a business owner, Black business owner, because I've had people try to enforce shaming tactics on me just for the simple fact that I'm a group economics guy and I like, Black business first, and I push the I'm Black first narrative, and they try, oh, you can't be like that. You have to, okay. So why do you try to hold me accountable, but you don't hold the Asians accountable? You don't hold the Latinos accountable when they doing their Latin days, and you don't hold the Jews accountable because them J people, they all the time telling you, hey, we'll never forget. So they basically saying in cold world, we'll never forgive. So as soon as I don't want to forgive somebody for my Holocaust that happened to me right here in America, oh, Juice is being racist. Juice is being discriminative. No, I'm just saying, hey, I'm just loving myself a little bit more than I've been taught to love myself. We can't look out for everybody. You can't squeeze blood out of a rock. If you don't have anything, how you going to give anything? So I'm trying to build wealth through group economics and through, I just went to the Chinese spot today. I walk into the Chinese restaurant. That's all you see working in there. It's Chinese people. You don't see no Black. You don't see no diversity in them Chinese restaurants. So why nobody putting that same pressure on them when they come over here to America and come over here and do better than us? And then they get assistance from our government when our government tell us, no, boss, you can't get this loan. No, boss, you can't get that. You can't get this, boss. I'm sorry. So my thing is, that's how I feel about that. So don't tell me how I should fundamentally think about any other group that is in competition with me, because when it comes to that alphabet community, I think that they look out for their own self, and they're not really stuck. They're not really on trying to help us. They're not really trying to be diverse. So let's just keep it a buck 100. When they get laws passed and them LGBT laws and all that stuff goes on executive order from Kamami and Jim Crow Joe, they passed them executive orders. I didn't see black people nowhere on it. I didn't see them sharing them resources. I didn't hear the LGBT community say, wait a minute, Joe and Kamami, y'all need to put black people on here too, because it's not fair because they look out for us, but why we can't look out for them?
I listened to the interview of that young person. I call him a person because I get confused with all these damn pronouns. I can't keep up. But that young person that was a young man and now has transformed into a transgender.
Right.
I listened to the interview because I'm a behavioral scientist too. I want to understand psychologically. That person said that they started out being a prostitute as a man. And when they decided.
What type of prostitute?
A male prostitute, a homosexual prostitute.
I got you. There you go. Clarified. Yep.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But that individual said that they weren't making no money doing that. They said that they started making more money when they decided to transition into a transgender person. They said when they transitioned, they started getting interviews. I got that picture. They was on the show. They was on the show today while I was doing my work. I wanted to listen to it, and so that person said they didn't say, "Well, I was born like this." They said that I knew something was different about me. So that tells me right there that there was no alpha male there to help them develop into who they are. See, let me tell you something else we don't have. We don't have a rite of passage into manhood as a people, as men. We used to, but we lost all that. So my question to you, again, another question is, why is it that when we draw the line and boundaries, Dr. Juice, on our value system and our standards and the things that we will accept in our culture and the things that we will not accept, why we get bashed, bro? Why? When everybody else is doing it, they do it. Why is it a big problem, Dr. Juice, when we draw a line in the sand and we stand on it and we willing, and if you cross that line, you remember when we were kids cross the highway? We used to fight all the time. And the instigator would draw a line.
Draw a line in the sand.
Yeah. Florida got sand. And we would scoop that sand up and put it in between it and say, the baddest man hit my hand.
The baddest man, I remember that. The baddest man hit my hand with this dirt.
Right.
And you the baddest man. And so whoever the baddest man would hit the dirt and we would slam the dirt on the opponent. And boy, hit it off. That's it, boy. It's going down, boy. It's going down.
Did I take you back to cross the highway? Did I take you back to childhood? We used to fight like that when we was boys, bro.
Sir.
And if somebody hit that sand and you cross the line, if you didn't fight, what's your reputation look like, Dr. Juice?
The reputation was boo-boo.
That's how we grew up. That's how we grew up. That's the place we come from. We will get at you type of dudes, bro. We ain't scared of nothing.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, bro, I support you 1,000. I support this movement because we stand on something. We stand on values. We stand on principles, and we're not scared to talk about it. I tell you, man, I was explaining to somebody the other day. I've been teaching overseas for a while, and if I was teaching in an American institution, white or black, whether it was HBCU or a majority white school, you know what would happen based on the things we've been talking about so far, Dr. Juice? Somebody would have called that institution.
Oh yeah.
And would have said, we are very disturbed by the things that Professor Voss is talking about on social media.
Right.
They would put, am I correct now?
Absolutely. That's part of the censoring movement that the liberals are putting in the atmosphere. They want to censor you, and if you want to be honest, that's a form of dictatorship when they control your speech. You know, you don't have the freedom of speech anymore. You can't speak your mind. That's dictatorship. That's what I don't understand, man. People are calling the Republicans and whatnot dictators, but dictatorship, somebody controlling speech, censoring social media. That's dictatorship. Yes.
Let me tell you about my European friends. This is why I teach in Europe. Number one, they don't give a damn.
Sure don't.
Number two, they support me. And let me tell you how. I remember when I was in Amsterdam during the pandemic. I was lecturing at the University of Amsterdam. And my European partners, you know, I was discussing the plight of the black man in America and all this, and they were saying, Professor, we just don't understand. Why do you focus on that so much? Why do you, it's just, we don't understand that. Let me tell you something, Dr. Juice. When George Floyd got killed, my European partners got on a conference call with tears in their eyes, apologizing to me. And they couldn't believe what kind of society would take a black man and kill him like a dog. In fact, I'll tell you something else. The things that unfortunately been happening to us in America has brought me closer to the Europeans. They support me because what people don't understand, they see you, bro. You're not living in a silo. The whole world see you.
Right. And you know what, Professor? Speaking about reputation and attack on men, I gotta doing the Puff Daddy. They just character assassinating this dude. And I guarantee you at the end of the day, if you really dig into the facts in the case, I guarantee you that a lot of this stuff they're putting on Diddy was consensual. I bet you a lot of this stuff was consensual. But they're finna do a R. Kelly on him. They're about to do, see, this is what they do to black powerful men. When you get that money and you sit here and you don't put that money back in your community, Diddy, and you think you can go out here and do what your white counterparts do, and you think you're gonna be able to get away with what Weinstein and Epstein and all of them did, this is why you should take your wealth and try to put it back in your community, and don't let them know what you're doing. Keep it underground. You know, just keep everything underground, all the movements, all the social movements, the neighborhood, anything you're doing to revitalize your community. Keep it underground. Because when they find out, Puff Daddy went at that liquor company. You remember that? He tried to sue that liquor company that he was sponsoring. Y'all remember that?
And possible obstruction or witness intimidation played very much into the decision.
And Laura, we also all remember that really awful, horrendous video of Combs viciously beating his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel lobby in Los Angeles. How much of that footage actually play in the court today?
Hello? Can y'all hear it? I don't know what happened. Hold on.
Can't hear it, Dr. Juice.
Give me a minute. I don't know what happened. Something went wrong.
I'm gonna see if I can dig up.
Let me
I'm gonna see if I can dig up my child, Dr. Juice.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's not good. Can you hear me? Oh,
Yes.
okay. It just the thing went off. Oh, gotta take a real quick break. Let me see here.
Yeah,
Let me
I'm gonna
see
see if
here.
I
Let me
can.
see. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I don't know what the heck happened. What's up? I was live. I was trying to call my sound guy. I don't know what happened just then, family. I don't know. Let me try this again. You can hear me, right, Professor?
Yes.
I don't know what happened, bro.
It's technology. Nothing's perfect.
If we can make it. Yeah, she lagging on me. But we'll kind of play this one by ear. So let's go about first off what he was doing with all that damn baby oil. I don't know. I'm still trying to verify that, man. Was the baby oil real, or was that a prop, or was that just made up? Man, they been getting him their work about that baby oil, but Puff tried to put up a $50 million. He tried to put up a $50 million bail, and they would not allow him to put the bail up. So let me just put that up. And they tried to, they tried to say that Puff was sexually transporting people, sexually trafficking, drug trafficking. Now I'm gonna tell you what Puff's defense is gonna do. They're gonna try to say, "Hey, the drug use was consensual," because a lot of these freak-offs parties they went 4 days at a time. Bro. You mean to tell me you being drugged for 4 days, you being sexually molested for 4 days, and you come back, you gotta eat something, you gotta drink something, you got a cell phone in your hand. Why wouldn't you call somebody for help? And so if Puff lawyers up, Puff gonna be able to beat a lot of these charges. So I just want to put that out there. And
But you know what? They were feeding people intravenously. They was sticking needles and feeding them vitamin E and vitamin C. They was pumping that in them.
exactly. Even the Ventura girl, what's her name? Cassie Ventura, where a lot of this stuff stem from, her going open public about it and getting that lawsuit. I think they say she got about 30 million or something in the lawsuit, man. And you don't think people would put up with some type of abuse if it was abuse? If you ask me, she looked like she was pretty happy with all the limelight and all the entertainment, news and celebrity lifestyle. She looked like she was pretty, pretty excited and pretty complacent with what was going on. So I'm not, listen, Puff Daddy is being attacked by the Me Too movement. That's that women's movement, that same movement that Professor was just saying that's pushing this transsexual stuff. I want to ask somebody, have you heard of a term called transhumanism? Have you ever heard of that term? Look that term up for us, Professor. Transhumanism. Let's pull it up on the screen. And I'm just trying to show you that there is a such thing that exists. And a lot of this liberal media and a lot of this liberal entertainment world and a lot of the liberal politicians are pushing this on our people. And it's causing all types of division. They want to say that juice and urban matters is causing division between people. Listen, family, I'm just a truth teller. If me telling you the truth causes us to be divided, something is not right. Something is not right. Professor is showing us what transhumanism is, what's the definition of transhumanism. So let's read this. It's a philosophical and an intellectual movement that advocates the enhancements of the human condition by developing and making merely available new and future technologies that can greatly enhance longevity, cognition, and well-being. Transhumanist thinkers study the potential benefits and dangers of emerging technology. This is your word, Professor, that could overcome fundamental human limitations as well as ethics of using such technologies. You get it? So, yes, you are changing, but they're using technology. And when they say they're using technology, they're using the technology, Professor, to enhance and to basically, what's the word we're looking for? They're using the technology to
transform.
Wait a minute, I can't get it off the screen. What's going on?
Okay.
They're using it to go ahead and stop the screen for. They're using it to basically influence you. That's what they're using the technology side of it from. To influence people into changing their appearance, to making them think that it's okay to be different in this type of appearance. So I just wanted to point that out. But
here's some insight for you, Dr. Juice. So we got the YSL. We have Puff Daddy. What do those cases have in common, Dr. Juice? I'll tell you what they have in common.
What do they have in common?
You can look this up. You want to talk about technology. Their investigation started on both of those cases. It started in 2009. Those people, so think about this. If the investigation started in 2009, calculate how much evidence that is, Doc.
Oh man, they probably got a gang of evidence. And you were saying something about that the other day, Professor, about digital, what they had Puff Daddy on record, on screen, dragging that young lady down the hallway. So what was the term that you used? Digital. Right.
So let me talk about that for a minute. So you know that I'm a sworn law enforcement officer. I specialize in cyber and digital investigation. So there are things that I cannot say because I am a law enforcement official. But one of the reasons why I transitioned into that career field is because I also wanted to help educate my community because I see what's about to happen to them. I mean, we just saw what was happening with Hamas. So my point is, when we talk about digital evidence, you think about all the charges that Diddy has, right?
Right.
You can drop all of those charges and just leave that one video with him kicking that woman on that video. That one video is going to bury him. You can drop everything else. You can drop the weapons charges. You can drop the Mann Act. Did you know about the Mann Act? Do you know anything about the Mann Act?
Yes.
They got him on the Mann Act. You can drop all of that. But with him kicking that woman like that, he going to sit for a while because you're in a feminist culture. You're in a Me Too culture. And this society is not going to allow the image of a black man kicking a woman like she a dog. And that digital evidence, among many other pieces of digital evidence that they have, but that piece of digital evidence done. And let me remind you, just for those that don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how many RICO charges that he's looking at.
Mm.
I can tell you how many years that you'll get on one minimum. RICO charges is a minimum of 20 years, Dr. Juice.
Wow.
How old was that? He 52 or something like that?
Something in there. Yeah.
Right. So if he did the RICO charge, he gonna be 70 something when he get just that one charge.
Got to play this other clip. Speaking of daddy and charges, let's talk about who all else is about to be implemented in some of these charges, Professor. And trust me, the rabbit hole goes hella deep on this whole case and subject matter. And I heard Aaron Hall, the girl Cassie, said that Puff, P-Diddy, and Aaron Hall was raping her. And she said it happened numerous amount of times. And also, there's a lot of people who are about to be indicted in this. And I heard that that's why they don't want to give Puff Daddy a bail, because they're so afraid of all the name dropping that Puff Daddy may do. And so that's what they're saying about P. Diddy. They're saying that P. Diddy is going to get ready to just, spill all the beans, and he's going to tell who all was, if he goes down, he taking everybody down with him. So y'all check this out.
Executive is retiring the day after the Diddy thing happens. Like, you can't make this shit up. What are you doing, bro? This is either the stupidest coincidence in the history of the music industry, or this is really spicy. And it only takes a little bit of Googling to figure out just how spicy it might be. It could totally be a coincidence, but I'm just going to run us through all the spice it might imply, because it's funny. And because this dumb fuck has to know that we were going to do this if he decided to announce his retirement the day after Diddy goes down. So he's the co-founder of 300 Entertainment. Formerly president of Def Jam and the Island Def Jam Music Group. Y'all know what direction that leads. Former executive VP of Warner, but he co-founded 300 with Lyer Cohen, Roger Gold, and Todd Moskowitz. If you don't know who Lyer Cohen is, that's pretty spicy. And Lyer Cohen also goes back to Def Jam and Warner Music Group, and into other directions. But anyways, back to this guy and 300 Entertainment. Well, it turns out that Atlantic Records has been distributing 300 Entertainment stuff since 2013. I'm not really sure if they're still doing it or not, but we'll come back to Atlantic Records in just a second, because the music industry is this whole clusterfuck of incestuous debauchery. But real quick, before we get sidetracked, he posted this letter on Twitter saying why he was retiring. And it's like the most dumbass, Mad Lib, like cringe. Here, just look at this. Just look at this. He tried to make a legible paragraph where he slid in all the names of the rappers that he represents. But because rappers have the dumbest names ever in 2024, it's like, what are you even saying? And it was always Hot Girls, or songs and albums and stuff. And it was always Hot Girl Summer, even on our skis. We have leaders like the Bad and Bougie, Raina Bass, who can switch between published P and being savage with no promises other than excellence. Okay, bro. What is going on? But then at the very end of the letter, he made sure to tell us why he's retiring on this very auspicious day. And it's just so that he can have more time to help Kamala Harris get elected as the first African-American female president. Is Kamala in this collage? No, she's not in this collage, huh? Just a lot of other folks, eh? Anyways, for once, Reddit is the voice of reason. People were posting this in r/hip-hop heads, and hip-hop heads were like, yo, pump the brakes, man. That has nothing to do with it. It's that Grange's son is taking over at Atlantic, and so he's stepping down. It's like, not only that, but Warner Music Group was hemorrhaging people. Totally logical that he'd be stepping down right now. This guy also speculates, he says he's pretty sure that the fiscal quarter ends on September 30th. So it's actually like a logical time for people to step down. So like, you know, temper your tinfoil. Maybe put it in the microwave, turn it on for a second, put it back on after. Let's keep going. Because I want to talk about Elliot Grange for just a second. Because if you don't remember, Daddy Lucian, I mean here, he's in the original Diddy lawsuit. He's directly named as a co-conspirator in the original Lil Rod lawsuit. He says that he knew about the parties, he was at the parties, he funded the parties. There's no way that he didn't know what was going on, according to Lil Rod. And Lucian's son, Elliot, has been coming up in the ranks looking like he totally has a soul. And he really made a name for himself recently when he signed and managed Ice. Oh, jeez, I can't even talk about her. Ice Spice. You know, Taylor Swift's friend. The weirdest duo of this decade. Like, what the fuck is this? So let's just say that Elliot's apple did not fall far from the Diddy tree as far as the type of people he's promoting. But now, effective October 1st, Elliot Grange is going to be moving up from managing 10K Projects, which he founded, and now he's going to become the CEO of Atlantic Music Group. Remember how I was saying how fucking incestuous the music industry is? And when I went to go look up what artist Atlantic manages to see if there's anything really spicy in there, I got distracted by how fucking retarded rap music is today. Like, I'm sorry, 100 Gex? A Boogie with a Hoodie? Balu Brigada. Barbie the album. Bless with the 3. Billy Gillies. Bug-Eyed. Burna Boy. And don't forget, hey. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm offending your favorite artist, but when you put all of their names all together and you just look at the state of American pop culture today, you can't tell me this is not retarded. And I know that like musicians are always like this. I know culture's always
Point here at Urban Matters Black Media Group. You see how all of this is interlinked, it's tied together, and trust me, you're going to hear some more name dropping. If this stuff goes all the way live with Puff, and that's why they say they want to give Puff any bail, because there's not that they're scared Puff is a flight risk. They're scared because Puff is a name dropping risk. And he's not going down by himself. They're trying to make Puff look like he's the ringleader. And you see all those white J people that's been around? I told y'all, man, that them J people control the music industry. They control the entertainment industry. And once you sign your name on the line, family, you just sold your soul. So there is no way out of it until we start making our own entertainment industries. What's that one artist back in the day, Professor, everybody used to like him, and they say that's why they killed him. He sung that one song, sitting by the dock of the bay. What's his name? Hold on, let me get Professor back in here because you had a little background noise. What's his name, Professor?
Otis Redding.
Otis Redding. Otis Redding tried to start his own label. And when he did that, him and what's the other guy who's saying what's the other guy? Dang it, I can't think of it. He got the song something about he was born by the river in a little, what's that? What's the name of that guy that dang it, I can't think of his name. See, I wasn't even born then, but I know the story. But he had his own record label and they offed it, man. You're not gonna be in direct competition with us with your own record labels, man. But no, it gets deep, man. That rabbit hole goes real deep, Professor. And so,
so you always like for me to give you a brief history lesson. So during slavery, in order to instill fear into the slaves, the master would go get the biggest slave who got out of line. And he would bring the biggest slave in front of him. He would gather all the black people, gather all the slaves around, and he would take that big slave and he would beat his ass in front of all the other slaves. Nothing has changed. Puff Daddy was a big slave. He had money. He was around who's who. So what they're doing now, they're taking that digital evidence and they're beating his ass in front of everybody. You're gonna see what I call a digital beating, Dr. Juice. That's what we call it in today's technology when they do black folks like that. He's gonna be electronically lynched. And that's what the new technology is today. That's what the new technology is today. How do we educate our people so they won't become electronically lynched? You know, if you read on a third grade level, you should be trying to get a better education. And you should be out here on social media and doing things that's going to incriminate you.
Right.
And everything around you is snitching on you. Every time you walk outside your door, even in your house, if you got Alexa, if you got a cell phone, if you got Fitbit, if you got wearables, if your refrigerator is connected to the internet, if your washing machine, everything that's connected to the internet is snitching on you.
Absolutely.
You might go and say, "Oh, I'm going to delete my account." Once you realize the stuff that you've been doing is stupid. Well, guess what? Your digital footprint don't go away.
Never goes away. Correct. Absolutely. Here go another clip on Puff. This is the prosecutor face on prosecuting the black wealthy man. They'd had a white dude on there. Y'all will be around here going, "Oh man, this must be racist. They messing with Puff, man." But see, they smart. This how the system of white supremacy work. They slap a black face on it like Commandment running for president. So y'all think, "Oh, ain't no way they can be doing Joe Biden them could be racist because they got a black woman running for president." Look at Obama. Obama passed just as many laws that was racist. Let's play it.
Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the client. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these...
Now, if y'all don't remember that video...
Wow. There you go. You go, man. They have their
Juice.
eyes dotted in their T's. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got it. I ain't gonna put him on blast. I ain't gonna, but see, I ain't gonna put him on blast. You know him and I know him, and I'm not gonna disclose the identity. But rather than get on your show, Dr. Juice, they're gonna DM me with some bullshit. I'm gonna put their comments on blast. They watching you, Dr. Juice, but they cowards. They won't even get on your show. Keep going. I'll pull it up for you.
Yeah, but hey, Ghost Watchers, man, they are our biggest fans, man. I love them. I don't really hate on them. I just, I know one day they'll mature and they'll get mature and come on here and handle business and stand on business. Especially a man. What kind of man go get into your DM, man? That's just weak to me, man. I don't understand that. But we're standing on business here, man. We don't have time for the bussiness and all of the flamboyancy of emotional people that have emotional outrages and emotionally unstable. That's not to be chauvinistic in, but that's women and children. And I think a lot of our people are voting out of emotions. And they're not voting for policies. When you vote out of emotions, you're failing your next generation. That's what you're doing. You're failing them. You're failing your next generations.
Go ahead.
And it's sad.
Your ghost watcher won't read that. Your ghost watcher, they want to be on your show, but they won't come on your show, but they'll DM me. So we'll get, we ain't prejudiced. We'll let everybody, if that's how you want to communicate, if that's how you want to be relative when we live, we'll read your post, we'll read your message to me. Read it for him. I ain't gonna call his name.
Okay, where you got the message at?
I've shared it on my screen.
Oh, you texted to me. Oh no,
I
you
shared
shared
it. Yeah. You can read it for him.
Okay.
This is pastor now.
Okay. I don't get into things like this. All I can say, when Trump show you again what he's all about, blame no one but yourself. I am surprised you put something like this out about our vice president. Ask yourself why you didn't come up with when she was running with Biden. Trump then used AI. I don't even understand what he's saying. He babbling so much he can't even get his damn literature correct. President, and ask yourself why this didn't come up when she was running with Biden. Trump then used AI. Could you prove this about her? I understand a lot of, I can't really see it at the bottom there, Professor. I understand a lot of black love their master, not going to debate with you on this. Believe what you want to. Oh, yeah, they love their master. You mean Joe Biden, your master? The one who did
Trump, no, they saying Trump, your master.
Yeah, but Joe Biden got to be your master because Joe Biden is the one that got the anti-black policies on the book right now. What about when he did the funeral and the eulogy for what's the guy's name? He's an open card carrying KKK. What is his name? Byrd, Robert Byrd. Look it up. Research it. Robert Byrd. Look him up. He was an open white supremacist KKK member. And Joe Biden said during the eulogy that Robert Byrd was his mentor. How can a KKK member be your mentor and you not be racist? Please explain that to me. And they want to say Trump racist. Whoever that is, whoever this man or so-called God he is, whining like a little bee, name one racist thing that Trump did. And I ain't taking up for Trump, but I hate when y'all do the finger pointing in the wagon at Trump and want to make him accountable for all the anti-black policies that the Democrats have. Joe Biden is the one who authored the 94 crime bill that got most of your people locked up right now because they was on drugs. Your people was on drugs. They was suffering. They needed help. They didn't need to be locked up. But Joe Biden called them, him and Hillary Clinton called them super predators. That's what Joe Biden did to your people. Okay? And then Kamala was locking black women up. One lady said she locked her up because her daughter had sickle cell and the baby used to miss school. She went and locked the mom up because the baby missed so much school because of her sickle cell sickness. And how you gonna help the baby and you locking the mama up? Locking up women, black women. This commandment did this and then bragged about it and laughed. She locked up black men for smoking weed and then sat on what's her name and told her Montel Jordan used to smoke weed. Not Montel Jordan, but what's the guy? Montel, who had the talk show. She was a call girl for Montel. Yeah, she was a professional whore. But see, you don't know this stuff because you don't research, man of God. You believe in everything the white media tell you. You don't know about alternative media like Black Urban Matters Black Media Group. You don't know about it. You need to start tuning in more and start ghost watching and come on here and get some real facts. Then y'all want to say, oh, you're a Trump supporter. No, I'm a truth supporter. I don't have to be no damn Trump supporter to tell you the truth. That's how goofy you is, and that's how immature you is politically. That's what they do, Professor. They say, "Oh, you're a Trump supporter." No, nigga, I'm a truth supporter. I'm apolitical. You know what that means? Do you have enough common sense to know what that means? I don't know who you are, and I really don't care. But my kids ain't finna grow up. But a lot of these young folks, they rocking with Trump. So what you gonna do about the young folks? Because they tired of y'all failing them as a generation. Ain't nobody finna sit here and keep voting over and over for the same thing, and we stay in this impoverished position in America. We're last at the totem pole. What is the man of God doing for people? How can y'all economically enhance and empower your community? You want to go vote for the person that got you in the condition. Do that make any sense? Make it make sense. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you.
He right there. I'm gonna protect this identity because he wanted to DM me, but he's right there in your. He's a preacher and he's right there in your community saying that right there.
Yeah, he's a goofball. I don't care who he is. I really don't. But these young folks, I'm not gonna let the next generation down like y'all let us down by voting immature and voting ignorant and just casting your vote for people. What policies? Come in the inbox Professor back right now and tell us what policies are you voting for that you love so much about commandment. What policy? Huh? Matter of fact, what's the name of your House representative in your district right here in Lake Wells? Can you name him or her? You don't even know their name. What's the name of your mayor? Huh?
What is this church? What is this church doing for the community?
In this state, what's your state senator's name? Worry about local politics, man, and stop watching emotional-driven news and media like CNN and Fox. These people don't care nothing about you, man. All these goofball Negroes make me mad, Professor. Let me come.
But they watching you.
Yeah,
they take the time out to watch it. They DMing me.
Yeah, because they don't want to DM me. Yeah, they don't want to DM me because they know I'm gonna drop some facts on them. And that just go to show you that they probably go back and fact check what we're saying. And you see that the stuff is true, but yet still you have cognitive dissonance. You know what that is? Cognitive dissonance. That's where your brain shut down and your cognitive sensors in your brain shut down when you're hearing something that disturbs you, when you're hearing something that scares you, or when you're hearing something that your spirit won't let you agree with it. Sometimes that's called cognitive dissonance. That's a mental illness. It's called cognitive dissonance. It's when you hear something, you know it's true, but you can't accept it because you've been thinking a certain way so long and you have a certain worldview. Let me play this right here for you, right here. I'm going to play this song.
Very, very simple thing
right
that if you have a certain worldview, and conservatives have one worldview and progressives have a very different one, if you have a certain worldview that doesn't allow you to see the facts, you won't see them. And the reason is very simple. In general, when you perceive something comes into your eyes, you have about a tenth of a second before it becomes conscious, and it will change in that tenth of a second to fit what you already know or believe. It will change fast. And it changes either, this is flashes of light will change, things you touch will change, all of those things will change, and ideas will change. So when you have facts that come in that won't fit the way that you understand the world, then you won't, the way you understand the world is going to change, is not going to change. The facts will either be ignored, ridiculed, or attacked.
Ridiculed, ignored, or attacked.
The way you understand the world, or not threaten them. People be happy with the way you understand the world and ignore the facts. But the frames that frame the facts are part of your brain. They're physical. All ideas are physical. They're in your brain. When they come in, that part of your brain is not going to change. And so you have lots of people in this country who have conservative worldviews, and they just don't see it. It's not like they're denying it. It's not like I know that fact and I'm going to deny it. It's like it's not even a fact.
That's you. That's you, supposed alleged man of God. It's to you, it's not even a fact. You don't want to hear any facts about Kamami. Why? Because you have Stockholm syndrome. That's where you love your abuser. The Republicans ain't abusing us. We don't vote for the Republicans, so who is abusing us? The people that we are voting for, the people that we support, the people that plantation we're on. We're on that Democrat plantation, and I know I've been a victim of it. But no more, no longer. Y'all acting like these people ain't been in power for the last 3-4 years and ain't done shit for you. They ain't done nothing but made the damn country a hellhole. Gas is up. Taxes is up. Inflation is up. Cost of food is up. Cost of living is up. Where did they do a good job? And you want to go vote for this again? Listen. Honestly, boy, you Negroes are just going to have to die off. That's just the bottom line. There's no way fixing you. You are a victim of miseducation.
You know the data that I saw some data earlier this week, and it said that the divide is that black people who are over 50, they vote for the Democrats. Yeah. And the black people below 50, they're either voting out of spite. It's not that they love. See, here's the thing that people need to know. It's not based on the research that I've seen. It's not that they're voting for Trump. They're voting in spite of the Democrats.
Out of spite.
They're voting out of spite, and that's what the older generation don't understand. They're voting out of spite.
It's just like being in a relationship, or you being one of your homeboys. He do you wrong or something. You gonna go against him out of spite.
They're doing it out of spite. That's
what they don't understand.
Right. I'm not a spiteful person.
Professor, what man running around, a real man, talking about he's scared of Trump? What man? What real man? Where's your manhood? Where's your nuts?
I'll tell you behind the scenes who it was, but I don't want to put, you know what I mean? We're not. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt nobody.
We're done. But see, that's the only goofy deflection they got. Oh, you like Trump? No, man. We're asking you what policies are making our life better the last 3-4 years, and you want me to go and commit this insanity again? If they didn't know how to run the country the last 3-4 years, you think they're gonna know how to run it the next 3-4 years? Bruh, out of the last 30 years of politics in this country, the Democrats have been in power, Congress, White House, and Senate, for the last 24 years. They have had, out of the 30 years, 24 of the years, the Democrats were in power. Now, make that make sense. See, we do statistics and data here, man. We don't get in our feelings. Man, I can't. We need jokers, boy. But Professor, we got to tune off, man. I got a little meeting I got to get into by, I got to get prepared for it by 10 o'clock. But
absolutely. I'm working on my fall courses. I'm all excited about teaching over in Sweden.
Yes,
and, I'm very happy about that. I hope that the research and the scholarly work that I'm going to be doing going forward will help the community. Give you something other than church and the Bible. This is this information is significant. Some very interesting research when you look at pharma. We'll talk about the pharmaceutical. We'll talk about the pharmaceutical industry. I will say this in closing about pharmaceutical. Now watch this. Why do you think the pharmaceutical industry is gearing up? I'll give you my take on it. All this mental health stuff they're talking about, I believe that pharmaceutical industry is gearing up to help deal with you black men and everybody else, but more especially black men. If you look at the case of Springfield, where Springfield was in a rust belt, right? And it went down because all the jobs went overseas. So what happened? People got on drugs. People had mental illness. So the government are going to buy all these drugs and sell all these drugs to the community. So to kind of keep them under control while all these other people come in. Because guess what? If you're on drugs, you can't work. The Haitians ain't on drugs.
Exactly.
But half the white people in Springfield, they on meth.
I saw that. I saw them business owners, them big companies up there say they prefer to hire the Haitian because the Haitian come to work on time. They're not on drugs. You don't have to worry about them being on drugs. They work for minimum wages. They don't be complaining about they pay like a lot of the black workers. That's basically what he was saying. He used the manager. He used Americans, but he really meant black Americans. Let's just keep it about 100. They say, listen, these people working circles around y'all black Americans. So what y'all gonna do? Y'all understand these people coming here to compete directly with you for resources. They're not coming here to be your black and brown friend. They're not coming here to be your minority friend. They're not coming here to be your people of color friend. No, they coming to take over and replace you. And that's exactly why the Democrats want to get them as voting citizens so they don't have to worry about you bougie Negroes trying to ask for more money. But here go that for that pastor right there, Professor. Here go the fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, yesterday I had the opportunity to pay my respects to Leader Byrd as he lay in.
He called him his leader. You heard that, man of God? Joe Biden called him his leader. Robert Byrd, an open KKK member. Man, don't get me started, man. Go do your research, pastor or whoever you are. We out of here, Professor. Peace and love.